Good morning, peeps. Silence. Yes, it's a silent Sunday morning, and I am trying to answer a question that I got the other day on Facebook. How I think that my autism makes penpalling different. So maybe the first aspect is that I kind of grab what I find and write on it, like this is the sleeve from a package of envelopes, because I obviously used a ton of envelopes for these explanations. Okay, not a ton, but I know that a lot of autistic people take things very, very literal, so I can still carry them all in my hand. And to me, it's really important to do small things that I can handle by myself. So, the first thing that is maybe different in my penpalling than other people's penpalling is that I am kind of like a really slow turtle. I always have a load on my back. I draw back into a hard shell. It is sometimes hard to get through to me, and yeah, I'm really slow, but we'll get to that later. Like just allowing for more time and thinking the problem is solved, then that doesn't really work. But yeah, the turtle also goes downhill here and doesn't want to step on the flower, so sometimes nothing happens for a while because there are so many what ifs and maybes, and yeah, look, these flowers are so pretty. So my pen pals should understand that I'm not necessarily always moving ahead in life, and actually I'm also learning to understand this, that there is a lot of life in standing still. Then an expression that I learned in Icelandic the other day is talarosem, talk under the rose, as in sugarcoating stuff. This expression exists in German as well, like durch die Blume sprechen, talking through the flower. But okay, like in German we are obviously through the flower, and in Iceland we're kind of sitting under the rose, and yeah, we're actually forgetting that every rose has its thorn. I may sometimes talk in odd metaphors, or I may be very straightforward, and some people may be hurt by this. Yeah, sometimes I'm sort of like the elephant in the porcelain store. But, okay, this elephant looks sad. I can read some rudimentary mimics, and sometimes I am sad that I'm sometimes kind of destroying things for people. In my childhood, I got the feedback very often that I'm destroying things for people, and it's not like I picked this way of life, but I kind of have to pick to accept it and to live hand in hand with it, and to find friends who can and appreciate to live with an elephant in the porcelain store. Yeah, I love old TV sets, and the odder the antenna, the better. And I have drawn like purposefully a face that you don't completely see, because like it's not, the frequency is not tuned properly, and I am sort of like a TV set or like a radio that is not tuned into other people, or that needs a lot of time to tune into other people. And I still remember that when the TV set in my childhood didn't work, I was so pissed. But in 2 days' time, I kind of learn more patience, because I also require more patience from other people. Of course, the comparison between an autistic person and a radio that is not tuned into everybody else is not brand new. Other people have used that too in the autism culture, and I decided to draw the radio separately because like in my teenage years my father gave me like a vintage radio that could do AM, FM, and like adaptations to a like a CD player and so on. And I learned foreign languages with this, and I loved the magic eye, like this green thing. When it was green, then supposedly the radio was tuned into the right frequency, which was not always the case. And it, like in the radio, actually, I loved when it was not the right frequency because this sound was much nicer than the flickering picture from the TV. And like no matter what the radio played, I loved the yellow light from the scale here where you could tune the frequency in, and I loved the green magic eye, and I loved learning languages from these foreign shortwave stations. Time factor and labyrinth. Yes, as a child, I referred to clocks as to mice. Like I called the clocks the mice. Look, there's a mouse on the wall, and everybody went like, huh? But yeah, today I sometimes feel like a little mouse in a piece of old architecture in a labyrinth. I don't know where to go, and that may be visible in my letters, because my letters just hop from one thought to the next and also express that I'm feeling lost in the normal world. And I always hope that the people may just respect that without necessarily commenting on it. And that I'm sometimes living in my own bubble. I purposefully did a goldfish glass here that can also be used as a fortune teller's crystal ball, because let's say I can't read people's minds. No one can. So actually I love when people tell me something and I can ask, what am I supposed to do with this information? Or when people ask me, now you've told me so much about this and that subject, what am I doing with this information? Actually, I'm a little bit allergic to the sentence, what do you want from me? Because that reminds me of the olden days where I, as a small helpless child, didn't feel taken seriously by other people. So yeah, what do I do with this information? I need clarity, and I hope to do my best to provide clarity to my pen pals as well. The owl is, of course, a very specifically adapted bird and nocturnal. I used to be super nocturnal in like for most of my life. Let's say, especially in the summer in Iceland, I'm getting more diurnal. I hope I'm saying this right. Like, because I kind of want to suck the sunlight up like a sponge to feed on the memory of it in the winter. But let's say the owls are also like a symbol of knowledge, but poorly understood, partly. Yeah, so I will always be this odd owl out. Obviously, autist means someone who is by themselves. Auto means self, so the automobile is also something that moves by itself. And of course, people who know me know that I like original vintage cars. But I also decided to draw a car because, like, when people say something something else may move in my head, like really automatically. And I can't control it, this other person can't control it. So here maybe some control that I have with the thought cars is if I want the roof open or closed, like in the Beetle here. Usually the changeable roof was made out of some kind of tissue, so you could like sort of open and close it like an umbrella. So this is maybe the only choice that I have. Is my thought car open so I can live with the risk that it rains on me, or is it like totally closed? Am I totally isolating myself from the others today? Yeah, trigger. I grew up with Robin Hood, like the cartoon, where the vulture called Trigger was always trying to shoot at people, but he was, of course, not successful because he was like this guy that was trying to be mean, but still in some way he was likable, and okay, his bill looked like something else and reminds me of some bad words over bad people. Yes, I guess you know what I mean. I'm talking under the rose, I know, but I want this video to be more or less family friendly, and I don't want to teach people any bad words that they don't already know. But yeah, triggers can occur in letters. And actually, in this respect, I'm really thankful for the animation movie Mary and Max, because that is about pen paling with an autistic person. And this person sort of disappears for ages from the pen pal because the pen pal inadvertently asked some questions who triggered Max. And of course, there were no bad intentions on either side, but it just happened. So there can be triggers and they try to look bad and they try to look mean, but like in some cases they are harmless. And yeah, I just hope that I can convey that to pen pals, and that they can also, let's say, okay, it's difficult to tell people don't write about this, but maybe be a little bit more slow and considerate in talking about particular topics. And here, last but not least, orca, because the word orca in Icelandic means energy. If you're talking about the animal, then you say háhyrningur, high horn, because of this backflug. So actually it's a running gag when a close relative came to visit me and picked up a yogurt cup and it said orca on the yogurt cup. That meant energy. This relative said, well, are they cooking orcas in the yogurt? Of course they don't. But all of my pen pals who are really interested in a long-term contact with me should know and will know over time that like my energy levels are like very unpredictable. Sometimes there come a lot of energy giving things in herds, sort of like orcas, and sometimes the energy is just not visible, or just a little bit of it poking out under the surface, under the stress. So yes, but orcas are smart. So I hope my energy is also used smart in pen paling. I love pen paling as a manner of receiving guests without them physically hanging around. And yeah, right now my phone is complaining that it's kind of too hot. So I have to close this video, and I wish you all a beautiful Sunday, a beautiful month of May, and happy pen paling. Bye bye.